Hi. Hi, I'm Elsa, and this is my Genius Hour project. So, my Genius Hour project was to paint a pair of Converse shoes. And I chose this because I love art, and I've never done anything like this, so I thought it'd be a really fun project. So, first I had to do lots of research on things such as the materials I needed, the best type of Converse shoes for this, and how to actually paint them. Now, I watched lots of videos on people painting shoes, people reviewing the materials, and also the things that were the most important to painting shoes.
Let me check the recording.
Sure.
I want to make sure it's going. Hold on a second. Sorry about this. For some reason, it should say. Oh, where'd it go? A second.
Check on your.
Oh, there it is. You're recording. Okay, never mind. Good. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure.
So then my mom and I found the materials I needed, which were acrylic paint, paintbrushes, the shoes, finisher, gesso. And that took a long time because I had to read through lots of articles about the materials, and a lot of them contradict each other, so it was very confusing. And then we ordered everything.
Huh. Is it not working? What's that? What do you need to go to?
It's not working. I have to go to the next one.
You are. Where are you? Are you in Google right here?
Yeah.
PowerPoint right here?
Yeah.
You go to this one?
I need to go past this one.
Okay. What if you go back to the beginning and just scroll through on PowerPoint?
Okay.
Try it from here again. No, just click up to there.
Okay. So that was the prepping portion, and I did this before I started painting. So the first thing I did, I used painter's tape to wrap around the sole so nothing would get on them. And then I used the clear texture gesso, which is the same stuff that you use before you paint on a normal canvas to paint a painting. So the next phase was figuring out my design. So first I did lots of brainstorming, and I actually made a big list of different ideas I had because I didn't want to set on just one idea. I wanted to do a bunch of different things combined. And then I did sketching, and that's one of my sketches for this side. And then I did more brainstorming, more sketching, and then I actually started sketching on the shoes themselves with pencil. And then I erased and then sketched more. So it took a long time to actually settle on my design. So the final part was painting, and it took a while to start because I had a foot surgery in January, which kind of halted the whole project. And when I finally got to it, even though each side took a long time, I still had a great time painting. So this is the first side. It took about 2 hours, and it was one of the hardest designs, but it is one of my favorites. And that's from the sketch that you saw earlier. So this is my second side. It took about 1.5 hours. It was the easiest, but it was one of the most fun to paint as it was so simple, so it was less stressful to actually paint. That's this side. So my third side, it took about 2 hours. It was probably the most fun because, I don't know, it was simple, but yet it still took a long time. Now I also used some glitter paint. And it's this side. So this is my final side, and it took about 2.5 hours, and it was the longest and the most frustrating. And it's this side because I had originally done it a lot darker than I wanted to, but the paint had already dried, so it was really hard to make it lighter. So this is a short video that I have, and it has some time lapses. of the painting process. So, the videos were originally a lot longer, but I shortened them. So would I do this again? Yes, I would, because I had a great time and it reminded me how much I love doing creative things. So my original goal was to have a completed pair of painted shoes that I can wear. And my motivation is that I love painting and I've never done anything like this, and I was excited to be able to wear these after. And I did complete my goal in the end, and I'm very happy with the results. So some challenges were time management and the surgery in January, which really put a stop to the project. Then finding the materials took a long time because it was very confusing. And the hardest part though was settling on one design, because even as I was painting, I still went back and rethought it, and then just going for it and not worrying about the mistake. So I learned time management and creativity. I feel it helps me be more creative than just going for it as well. So my triumph is that I now have a pair of painted shoes that I painted myself and I can wear, and I'm really proud of them. And then I had a great time painting them, and I learned a lot. So I'd like to thank my mom for researching with me and helping me pick out the materials and then buying them. Thank you for listening.
Are there any questions?
Jordan?
So for the sand one, did you actually have to take off the paint, or did you just try to paint over it? Because I think it looks really cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I just painted over it, so I used a lighter color and just kind of blotched it on. David?
So when you're prepping your shoes for paint, did you have to wash them and then did you have to prime them somehow?
So I didn't wash them because I didn't want to ruin, because it could take off some of the finisher that they already had on the shoe. But I used the clear texture gesso and did a few coats of that on first to prep them.
Does it sustain pretty well? I mean, can you wear them and then they'll hold out?
Yeah, and you put there's also acrylic finisher that you put on after, it's just clear to.
Oh, kind of seals it in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jordan?
If you were to do this again, would you do a different type of shoe, like Vans?
Probably, yeah, just for something different. Yeah.
And what would that different type of shoe?
Well, I might feel Vans or like a Nike shoe, maybe.
Well, that's great, Elsa. Terrific. Thank you so much. Okay, so, Jake on it's okay. You should be in there. Just scoot over this way a little bit more. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Hi, my name is Janie, and for my Janie Summer project, I made 2 Glossary libraries. That's my other one, and not that one. Okay. Oh, that's... Okay. Why? Why did I choose this project? I chose this project because I wanted to learn more about building, and I also wanted to spend some quality time with my grandpa, who was my mentor. And what was my original purpose? My purpose was to finish and complete 2 Glossary libraries that are in use by the end of the year. So I will be turning them in quite soon. What I want to achieve 2 functioning Glossary libraries for the school. 1 for the middle school and 1 for the lower school. Okay. Process. The materials. I had to gather wood, paint, and I had to do a lot of research and planning to find out what the best materials were. I used plastic for the bordering, and then I used wood for everything else. My mentor was my grandpa because he knows a lot about building, and I thought it would be good to have quality time together. And the time span, this took about, for each of them, it probably took about 6 hours to, no, 12 hours actually for each of them. So that would be 24 hours in total. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What did I learn? Most important lesson I learned was not to give up. At the beginning of the year, I was thinking, I'm like, this is impossible. I can't do this. But I learned that you just persevere and keep on trying. What caused my results? What caused my results was long, very long days, and my mentor really helped me. So. Okay, the end product. What did I accomplish? I accomplished 2 local libraries. Was my result? Was they're not functioning yet, but yeah, 2 local libraries was my result, and I had a lot of fun. So. What would I do different next time? Next time I would stick more to my deadlines that you wrote at the beginning of the year, because at the end of the day, I did not really get quite a lot of my things done that I want to do for the month, so I would definitely stick more to my deadlines. Will I continue this project next year? Honestly, it was fun. I learned I did not really enjoy building. It's a little tedious and a little not, I mean, it was fun spending time with my grandpa, but it was not fun actually building it, so I would not continue this project. Thank you for listening. Oh, and also any questions? Okay, yeah. Hi, Jordan.
So, would your grandpa like come over every day or like every once a week?
No, I would go to his house about once a month.
I think someone's trying to get
Let's go to the team. Where's the
It's on the other computer screen.
Oh, Nick Simmons.
Oh, that's my dad.
Ah. Okay. Admit all. Let's see here. Okay. Keep going.
So to continue answering your question, Jordan, I went to his house about once a month, and so for the first 12 hours, no, for the first 6 hours, we had to cut the wood and prep everything for it to be all put together. Then I had to actually put it together. Then finally I had to paint, which it didn't take too long, but yeah. Sophie.
What are you gonna do to make prepare to put it outside and have look at it?
I'm actually not putting it inside, so what, not outside, I'm putting it inside. So what's going to happen is George, he's going to put, okay. So on the back of it, right here, he's going to put a metal plate, and then another metal plate on the wall, so the 2 metal plates kind of go like that, so it just hangs on the wall. Yep.
Is this going into school?
It's going into, one is going to be in the middle school near the bench across from the dragon den. Then the other one's going in the lower school right at the entrance, where all the sleds are and stuff. So, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Thank
Any
you.
questions? All right, Dexter.
Okay, so for my project, I 3D printed a Rubik's Cube. Now, most people have never actually solved them, have ever solved them, even though that's the most popular puzzle on the planet. And also most people don't know how they work or stuff. And so for my project, that was 3D printing one, I had to figure out how the pieces worked, and then find a file so that I could print them. So, but most of the time I just practice solving because I much prefer solving to actually 3D printing. And also I didn't actually finish printing it because I procrastinated way too much in the beginning. Basically, the way that a piece works is that you've got a core which has these little center caps on it, which are the parts that actually spin. Then you've got a edge piece, which is one of the pieces that I 3D printed, and did which the center cap just hold into spot like that, so that when you turn the center caps, it turns that. Now with a corner piece, this is held into place right there, mainly by the edge pieces that fits together like that. Now, if you can't see very well, I do not blame you. So when you have all of them together, it looks like this, where you just have edge pieces and corner pieces. And there's the center cap. So the edge piece just fits in there, and the corner piece is held in by the 3 edge pieces, just like that. And then that allows the whole layer to turn independently, and it can turn at any angle. Now, since I was 3D printing it with a printer that goes layer by layer, there's it's kind of a little weak here, and there's lots of little bumps here to the support material. Now, as I said before, I mainly just solved the cube because I was practicing, because that's the most fun part by far. And I practiced solving 2x2 a lot too. But for 3x3, I use the CFOP method, which stands for cross, F2L, OLL, and PLL. OLL stands for orientation to the last layer, and PLL stands for permutation to the last layer. Basically, what that means is, for cross, you just get all of the white edge pieces onto one layer, so that it looks kind of like this. F2L stands for first 2 layers, so you get you get the rest of the pieces on the first 2 layers into the correct spots. That looks like this. This is the only layer that is solved. And then for OLL, you just get all of the yellow pieces facing up like this. And for PLL, you get all of the remaining pieces into the correct spots that it's solved. Like this. Now, if you do not understand this, it is very confusing, and I do not expect you to remember it whatsoever. Now, I mainly practice 2x2, because I have a much better cube for 2x2. for 2x2, I use the Ortega method, which doesn't stand for anything. It basically just means that I choose a random side, get all of the colors on that side down like this. Then I get all of the colors on the opposite side facing up, like that, and then I just do an algorithm to solve the rest of the cube. Like that. Can somebody scramble this? Okay.
Don't scramble it for too long.
Thank you. Okay. You didn't scramble it for long enough. Oh, whatever. And then, can somebody scramble with a 3x3? This one is a 3x3s are a lot harder than 2x2s. I average around 11 seconds on a 2x2 and around 40 seconds on a 3x3.
Can you guys go over by the camera so people can see it over there? Yeah.
I'm not that good at 3x3. I still use the beginner version of CPOP, which is a lot easier. It only uses what is it, like 19 algorithms? Well, full CPOP uses like 80 or something. And that's what this is. This is actually all of the algorithms for O level. Oh, wow. For Odo, there's 57 algorithms, all of which you have to memorize what the moves are and when to use them, which looks like this. I just use 2 look Olo, which basically means that instead of doing both the edges and the centers at once, I simply, instead of just taking this and flipping all of the pieces up, first I just flip the edges up with an algorithm, and then I flip the corners up with an algorithm. And for PLO, I do the same thing. I just start with the corners, and then I do the edges. Does anybody have any questions about anything that I just said? Okay, Mr. Jermaine.
So, on your original goal, what did you want to do?
Oh, I just went.
Get better at this? Were you pretty good at this before you started?
Yeah, I averaged around 1 minute and 10 seconds on a 3x3. So I cut my time down by about 30 seconds.
So you studied up different patterns and this kind of things and how to do it. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yes?
Okay, so I have 2 questions. So I'm a little bit confused. Are you trying to, was your original project trying to 3D print a Rubik's Cube or trying to solve a Rubik's Cube?
Try to 3D print a Rubik's Cube and also to be able to solve it quickly. So I had a 2-part project. It was 3D printing a cube, which I never actually got around to finishing, and practicing a whole lot.
And then my second question is, is that like what you have to do? So like the W shape, you have to do that, or what is that specifically? I'm a little bit.
Pretty much, if you have this exact case, you are going to hold it in this orientation, and you are going to do this series of moves.
Oh, okay.
Now the notation is pretty simple. No, now the notation literally just means left side up, right, upside counterclockwise, left side down, upside counterclockwise, left side up, upside clockwise, left side down, upside clockwise, left side down, on front side counterclockwise, left side up, front side clockwise.
Wow. That's terrific. Dexter, we need to keep moving on. We've got some other presenters, but very good today. Any other questions, folks?
Yeah.
All right. So, this. I need to see if anybody else is online.
I was hearing some.
I did too, so let's go check real quick. No, I don't see any, I don't see anybody.
Me too.
I did, but
Yeah.
they must have left. Okay, well, we'll just keep going. All right. Good.
Because there was 3 people on there. Yeah, there's only 2 now.
Yeah.
I think it was Dexter.
Oh, Vanessa has a question. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Vanessa, you have a
Yeah.
question?
Oh, I just wanted Dexter to show us slow of him following that algorithm, but he kind of did at the end, so.
Okay.
But I'm all done.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right. Viv, come on up.
So for my Janie Summer project, I wanted to build an escape room. And so I had to pick out like puzzles to solve and in order to solve them in so that you could like escape. And I wanted to do it because I've done them before and they're fun, and I also like solving riddles and stuff. So these are the different puzzles I picked. So I did 5 puzzles because I didn't want there to be too many, and I thought it would be a good amount. So the first one was like a balloon, and you have to pop it, and there's something inside. Where that leads you into the next puzzle, and so for the rest of the puzzles, you can. And then I had to have like a theme and a story, because most escape rooms have a story. So I was going to make it Harry Potter themed, and so there were like Harry Potter decorations to make it look like the scene it was supposed to be set in and stuff. So my original motivation for I wanted to design my own escape room because I really like them and I wanted to make it my own thing. And it was kind of hard when I had to come up with ideas, but I just took the break again. Like, I don't know. I do not think I would choose to do this project again because I think I would do something else, something different. And then the next slide was what I learned. So basically, I learned about time management and organization and like planning because I had to set aside time to work on it and stuff, and it was busy, so it took longer than I thought it would, so I wasn't able to finish it and like build the escape room, but I had everything planned out. So originally I did have planned to have it built and tested, but I wasn't able to, and so some problems that occurred were just I got stuck when I was trying to think of ideas, and also I did I did have to change my original goals because I knew I probably wasn't going to finish it, so. Yeah. That's it, basically.
I think Janie has a question for you. Janie? Okay.
Well, if you were going to build it, where were you going to build it?
I have like a spare room in my basement that I was in.
Oh,
So I ended up in there, so.
So I have a question for you. You mentioned a balloon filled with a puzzle. How do you get the puzzle pieces in the balloons to do it? And stretch it out pretty good. You blow it up first and then stick each one into that, and that's kind of a time. Is it a big puzzle, small puzzle?
Like small.
Nice. Okay. Are there any other questions? Because we're kind of running behind schedule right now. Anybody? Well, thank you so much. Thank you. Sorry you had problems with your. Okay, so let's move on right now, and we have Jordan.
Gotta bring all my previous sketchbooks up there.
So, hi, I'm Julianne Garcia, and my Genie Star project is to learn how to play clairvoyant on the violin. I wanted to do this project because I've always been inspired by this song, and the first time I heard it, I really wanted to play it. Okay, my inspiration was just music. It's been a part of my life for a very long time, and I decided that I wanted to do my Genie Star project on it. So, yeah. My goal was to be able to learn how to play clairvoyant on the violin. And, yeah. I knew this was going to be hard for me because I'm only 2 months into learning violin. So it was kind of like a big challenge, like a big jump from what level I am. So I started by talking to my violin teacher, which was my mentor. And this song was meant to be played originally on the piano, but I wanted to do it on the violin, so we had to change the notes so it would be easier. And I would meet with my violin teacher once a week, and I would practice a couple times a week for 15 minutes. My results were, yes, I did accomplish my goal. And so I'm glad I did this project because it kind of taught me how to like jump out of my zone and kind of learn something new. And I probably will do something like this again because I really liked it and it was fun to learn something. So I'll play the rest of the song for you.
Good job, Julianne.
I have my own.
Were there any questions for Julianne? Janie?
How long have you been playing violin for?
2 months.
2 months?
Yeah, that's pretty good for 2 months.
That was really good. Thank you.
Any other questions? And who's your teacher?
His name's
Phil Baldwin?
No.
Oh, just Phil. Okay. Any other questions, folks? All right, well, thank you so much, Julianne. Go ahead, Jordan.
Okay, I believe we were right here.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, sorry for the inconvenience, folks. So, why did I choose this project of improving my art? So, I chose this project because every single weekend, once I finish my homework and I have no more chores to do, and we're not going anywhere, I can finally draw. I sit down and I just take some time and draw. And I want to learn more about drawing, like what type of styles there were, what could I do? I want to unleash my creativity. And so what did I learn? Like life lessons that I learned. So the most important thing that I learned was that sometimes things don't go as planned. And I obviously know that because I had to change my project completely. It went from an art business to improving art. So I will use this information in the future when plans don't go as planned. So if I have something planned and something else happens, I have to know also to go with the flow. Now, my original goal was to get to $100, and I was donating about most of the money to a children's hospital, Shriners. But unfortunately, I didn't get any orders, so I had to change it. And the thing that got most of my way was advertising. And my new goal was to learn a new art style. Now I want to learn actually a couple of art styles, but my main goal is just to learn at least one more art style. So, and did I hit my goal? I certainly did. Oh, well, I did not hit my original goal, but I did hit my new goal. So, successes, I learned how to draw realistic, and I learned multiple different cartoon styles. Oh, sorry. And my best art piece is on each sketchbook or iPad. So the first sketchbook I ever used was this one, which not my favorite. This is a little,
So to the camera.
as an artist, I like to critique my work a lot, so it's not my best, I think. I also tried this style for a little bit. I'm still a little stuck on that style, but then I tried realistic for the first time. This is my first shot at that. And then I also tried online art, which is, I feel like, a lot easier because it has like all your tools you need right there and you don't have a mess of a desk. So one of my other ones that I did was this one.
Oh, wow, that's fun.
Yeah, I think it's fun. It's actually my family. This is more of what I was selling to people if they would want it, but I did not get any orders. So, well, I continued the project. As I said before, in my free time, I always draw. So I will continue this project, but not as a school assignments, because it is a little stressful trying to like learning in general is fun, but when you're like being like constantly like, okay, every week I have to learn something new. Okay, we gotta keep doing this. It's not as fun. And now, thank you for listening. Any questions? Janie.
Oh, first off, I want to say you did really well, even that with the setback you had earlier. And also, what would you want to draw in the future? Like, will you try drawing animals or?
Like this, I think I'd like to do more realistic drawings. I actually can only draw people, unfortunately. I don't know how to draw animals, and I can only actually draw girls and women. I don't know how to draw men or boys. So that's something I would like to learn to draw, is animals and the male species. Male. Species. Species. Sorry. Okay. Sorry?
Do you know who your mentor was?
So For my original project, my mentor was my dad because he actually has his own business. He's a car mechanic and he has his own business. But since I had to change my project, I didn't really establish a new mentor. It was kind of just like my parents. They would like help me on my artwork and they'd tell me like, okay, this is what you should fix on this, what you should try and learn to do. They kind of like pushed me through it. So I guess you could say my mom and my stepmom were my mentors. But other than that, I didn't really have like a set in stone mentor. Okay, any other questions, Janie?
How often did you work on, like?
So, how often did I draw?
Yeah.
So, it's not, I was trying to be consistent, but usually every other weekend, and sometimes during art class, I would draw, I'd just bring this and I would draw on this. I also, I have work, this wasn't really, this part is drawing, but it's not quite, it's not just like plain drawing, it's actually an animation. So I started also working on animations, which if I were to do a project again, I might actually do this again. So I could show you guys. This was a while ago. I didn't really ever
Show
finish
that
it.
to the camera. Yeah.
It's not really the best, but it
It's
just
fun.
goes on repeat as well. And there's a headless person. Okay, I didn't realize that. But I was trying animation as I was saying. I kind of was like experimenting with stuff. Any other questions?
I think it's a great job, Dora.
Thank you.
Sophia?
Okay. Hello, my name is Sophia Tarani, and my Genius Hour project was my equestrian progression throughout the year. So I'm just going to quickly go through this. This is just a glossary page of like what I was working on. So a gait is like a manner of walking. So for people, it would be like running, jogging, skipping, whatever. But for horses, it's walk, trot, and canter. Walk is a 4-beat gait. You want your horse to go about 4 miles per hour. Trot is a 2-beat gait. It can range in speed, but it's normally 8 miles per hour. And the horse moves their legs in diagonal pairs. Collected is the same as trot, but the rider's not posting, and the horse's head is collecting at 90 degrees, so the head's like straight down. And it is normally slower. Canter is a controlled 3-beat gait. It's about 10 to 17 miles per hour, depending on the length and the stride of your horse. One of the horse's rear legs propels him forward. On the 3rd beat, the horse catches itself on one front leg, while the diagonal pair is momentarily still in contact with the ground. The more extended foreleg is matched by a slightly more extended hind leg, and that's the lead. So depending on which way you're going around the arena, left or right, their lead changes, and this will make more sense in the video. So my motivation, I decided to do this project because I really enjoy writing, and I started in August, so when school started, I decided that I wanted to like see how much I'd progress, because those would be like when I'd progress most in my writing time, I guess. My motivation did stay the same the entire project, and I'd absolutely pursue this project if I did Genius Hour again, because I really enjoyed writing, and I wanted to, I will take more videos when I write. So the most important thing that I learned is to pursue, because in December I fell off and it really made me nervous, but I decided to go back. And I know I learned this lesson because I did continue. If I were to do anything differently, I'd try not to be so nervous in general. And what caused my results were me trying my best. And if I were to use this in the future, I know that I will use this in the future, because if I don't want to do something or I'm nervous, if I just pursue and persist, I can get it done. So my original objectives were to be able to get to a point where I can take care of a horse and do a competition. And I do believe I've achieved this, but I haven't done any competitions yet. But there are some that I might do eventually. What most got in the way was when Trip spooked and I fell off accidentally, and I was really nervous to get back, and I occasionally still am. And this was my most challenging moment because it set me back a lot. And I overcame it by going back to my writing and continuing, and there were no changes in my original objective. My triumphs were jumping for the first time, being able to get back on after I fell, and beginning to look for a horse. So I'll also continue this because I'm going to continue to ride and I'll still continue to take videos like with jumping and when I do something new. And this is my video. Let me just quickly explain. So I started riding in August and then in December I fell off and that kind of set me back. So in like January, February, March I was kind of getting back into riding and then I began to do new things. And this is just a video.
Much better result, huh? Excellent. Okay, when we get to B, let's walk. Let's go. Better, yes. Excellent. You got through it that time. Leg on, leg on, leg on. Yes. That's the way to go. Up there.
Jordan.
What's the horse's name?
Trip to the moon. But his show name's Trip to the moon, but his nickname's Trip.
And, sorry, one more question. What's the tallest jump you've ever done?
It was, I think, I don't know if it's a meter or feet, but it was 2. But it was accidental because we thought it was lower, but it was actually higher.
Oh.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
What kind of horse?
He's a thoroughbred.
Thoroughbred?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, very good. All right.
Okay. So, hi, I am Audrey, and my project was Goodies for Good.
You press the arrows.
It's next. There we go. Okay, so for my Genius Hour project, I chose a project that would help me raise money for something I love, which is animals. I created Goodies for Good to raise money for a local animal shelter. By selling toy and treat gift bags for cats and dogs, I could donate the proceeds to help take care of the animals. My project was done in 2 phases, The first round was during the holidays, and the second round was directly at an animal shelter. All proceeds, which were about 50%, was donated, and my target was to raise $400. Why did I do this project? I love animals, and I volunteer at an animal shelter, and I learned how much it takes to take care of the animals. The shelter provides food, boarding, medical care, and the staff to take care of the animals. It takes a lot of money to provide these things. I wanted to do something that could help out. Designing gift bags is much more complicated than you would expect. I designed a logo with a graphic designer, designed packaging, set up an e-commerce website, ordered supplies, marketed the product, and fulfilled the orders. I learned many things from each bullet point on this list, such as how to create an online ordering and fulfillment of the orders. Now, I won't bore you with all of the details, but there are many lessons learned through this process. My biggest takeaway was manufacturing and selling a product is much more complicated than I ever imagined. I rolled out the product in 2 phases, applying lessons I learned from the mistakes in the first round. The first phase was the holiday fundraiser. My product was bags at different price points and customized for cats and dogs. Not all breeds are the same, so I had to include different sizes for dogs. So the small dog probably could not have this in their mouth because it's way too big. So they would need this one instead of the big one, and then vice versa. So, ordering products for the bags was challenging because I didn't know how many people were going to buy my products, and I didn't want too much left over. And of course I ran out, and I had to make an emergency run to Petco, but overall it was good. During the holiday sale, I made most of my goal. The second phase was working with the Bark Cafe. We were delayed with COVID, and unfortunately they were closed for business, and it took some time to get set up with them. After we met up, we finally they wanted a more customized bag with a specific quantity. I learned from phase 1 not to over-order, and I did a better job the second phase. We came up with a themed bag, and they are currently selling them there at their gift shop. The one word I can use to describe my project is that it was very challenging. Learning how to set up an e-commerce site is not that easy for the first time. It wasn't just the program, but it was deciding how to capture what people would want to buy. When ordering the supplies, from the logo stickers to the treats and toys, all of the parts to put the bags together was tough. I didn't want too much left over or not enough if someone ordered it. The balance was hard. Fulfilling the orders and making sure that everyone got what they ordered can make you lose your mind. Each bag had to be checked and rechecked, labeled, and then packaged to ensure it was correct. Marketing and price points were not in my vocabulary before this. In short, I never anticipated all the details in each and every step along the way. It was frustrating at times, and it was very fun at others, and it was very rewarding at the end. So my original goal was $400, and so far I've raised $455. The Bark Cafe is still selling my gift bags, and overall I reached my goal, and I feel like my project was a success. Well, where did I donate my $455 to? I learned that the Bark Cafe is also an animal shelter too, and they host animals from the Spokane Humane Society in their building, and they pay for shelter, food, and care when those animals are there. They also have to pay staff to take care of the animals. Unlike the shelters, they are private and don't get big donations, but they do the same exact work. After much research and deciding, the money was donated to the Bark Animal Shelter. If I did this project again, well, I thought it was much more difficult than I expected, and I wanted to do more, but with school and homework, it was just too much. I had to change my plans of also going to the cat cafe because it was just too overwhelming. I am also happy that I could help out, even though I didn't do that much. So no, I would not do this project again, even though it was very fun to help out. And I have a video of a satisfied customer.
That's hilarious.
Is that Max's cat?
Yeah, it is.
My cat also loves the milk toy.
Aww.
I like the donut on the dog.
Yeah, so that's my dog, and
That's funny.
he's very happy with his toy.
Yes.
And then this is the Bart Cafe, and when, yeah. Thank you.
So you said it's on, it's still going on, they're still selling
Yeah,
products
they're
there?
still selling them, yeah.
Are you gonna continue to furnish them stuff to help make money, or are you done? As soon as you run out of inventory, are you done?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a great idea, what an entrepreneur.
Thank you. Jordan?
So for the Bart cafes, how were you able to come in contact with them? Like, did you have to send them an email, or how did that work? Like, meet them in person?
Well, one of my family members knows, like, the owner of it, and so I got in contact with him, and we had a Zoom call, and then I met with, like, the manager, and then we met, and then they wanted to do a more, like, what's the word for it? Like, more friendly, like, if you just get a dog, like, you probably don't have a leash and everything, so I got stuff for that. Janie?
How much do you think your project cost in total?
I think it was kind of like the same amount that I gave the Bar Cafe, so about that. Any other questions? Janie?
Sorry, but to buy all the supplies, did you I don't know, like, how did you get all the money for the supplies?
Well, my mom helped me, like, buy the supplies, and I also used, well, I went to Petco to get, some more supplies, just because I ran out, and then also I used Chewy.com, so, yeah. Any other questions?
No?
Okay.
Very good.
Thank
Thank you so much.